In the mystical heart of Seattle, where the ancient meets the modern, lies the grandiose Astral Lodge, home to a prestigious magical order known as the Silver Coven. Within the hallowed halls of the lodge, arcane secrets have been guarded for centuries, and the knowledge stored here could change the course of magic itself. Freya, a talented mage with a penchant for unruly adventures, was well acquainted with the Silver Coven. She had sought their wisdom, tutelage, and sanctuary in times of need, and her reputation among the magical community had grown over the years. It was this very reputation that led to her summons on a gloomy evening in the heart of the Redmond Barrens. The message had been discreet, arriving in the form of an enchanted raven that appeared at her window bearing a small scroll. The seal on the scroll was that of the Silver Coven, and it was a call to action. The Coven's most prized possession, an arcane formula of incredible power, had been stolen from their vault. Its theft threatened to unravel the balance of magical forces within Seattle and beyond. Freya was met by the Coven's Elder Council, a group of wizened magicians whose faces were etched with centuries of wisdom. They briefed her on the situation. The thief, cloaked in shadows, had infiltrated the Astral Lodge during the cover of night, bypassing even the most intricate wards and protective spells. As Freya listened to the council's somber voices, she realized the gravity of the situation. The Stolen Formula, a culmination of generations of magical research, had the potential to grant its wielder immense power. Rumors whispered of dark forces coveting the formula to enhance their malevolent spells, disrupt the natural order, and wield magic beyond imagination. Without hesitation, Freya accepted the task. She felt the weight of responsibility settle upon her shoulders. The mage runner would need all her magical prowess, cunning, and bravery to track down the thief, recover the stolen formula, and prevent the impending catastrophe. Freya's journey had begun, and with each step, the web of intrigue and danger surrounding the stolen arcane formula would tighten. She would navigate through the shadows of Seattle's magical underbelly, battling both dark forces and her own inner demons. The stakes were high, and the fate of the magical world hung in the balance. Freya, armed with resolve and her formidable magical abilities, delved deeper into the enigma of the Stolen Arcane Formula. Her journey led her to the smoky back alleys of the Redmond Barrens, where shadows concealed secrets and danger lurked around every corner. She began her investigation by seeking out magical contacts within the Barrens, navigating the treacherous terrain of the city's underworld. Among the shadows, she found allies, informants with their ears to the ground, and a willingness to exchange information for favors of a magical nature. As she moved through the Barrens, Freya's senses remained attuned to the currents of the astral plane. It was there that she detected faint traces of the stolen formula's magic, lingering like an ethereal scent. The formula's presence whispered to her, guiding her steps through the labyrinthine streets and the dark hearts of the district. In her quest, Freya encountered a diverse cast of characters. There was Nico, a taciturn dwarf who served as a magical intermediary, connecting her with individuals who possessed crucial knowledge about the thief's identity. Then there was Liera, a shrewd elven information broker who dwelled in the shadows, trading secrets for magical trinkets. Despite their assistance, the trail remained elusive, obscured by layers of deceit and misdirection. Freya sensed that her pursuit had not gone unnoticed by those who coveted the stolen formula. Mysterious assailants, wielding dark magic and cloaked in the sinister essence of forbidden rituals, ambushed her on several occasions. Each confrontation was a perilous test of her magical prowess and wits. It was during one such confrontation in the depths of a derelict magical artifact shop that Freya encountered her most enigmatic adversary yet, a figure known only as the Masked Conjurer. Cloaked in a shroud of living shadows, this magician demonstrated a mastery of forbidden magics that rivaled her own. Their battle raged through a shifting maze of spectral illusions and arcane blasts, leaving the shop in ruins. As the dust settled, the Masked Conjurer disappeared into the night, leaving Freya with more questions than answers. The encounter had revealed a glimpse of the darkness that lurked behind the theft of the arcane formula, and the urgency of her mission became ever clearer. Freya pressed on, determined to unearth the truth. In the next chapter of her journey, she would delve deeper into the city's magical underbelly, confront the shadows of her own past, and face revelations that would test her resolve as never before. Freya's pursuit of the Stolen Arcane Formula led her down a twisting path of intrigue, betrayal, and ever-deepening mystery. With each step she took, the shadows of her past and the enigmatic forces at play in the present closed in, testing the limits of her magical abilities and her resolve. She continued to seek answers within the Redmond Barrens, its smoky streets becoming increasingly familiar. Freya's alliance with Nico, the dwarf intermediary, bore fruit as they uncovered a network of underground information brokers who held pieces of the puzzle. These contacts whispered tales of an elusive thief with ties to a malevolent cult, a cult obsessed with harnessing the power of the arcane formula for nefarious purposes. As Freya's investigation deepened, she couldn't escape the feeling that she was being watched. The masked conjurer's shadowy presence lingered in her thoughts, a constant reminder of her enigmatic adversary. She knew that their paths would cross again, and when they did, it would be a battle of magical titans. One fateful night, while consulting a particularly cryptic informant named Vale, Freya uncovered a lead that would take her closer to the heart of the conspiracy. Vale, a hermit-like figure who dwelled in the heart of the Barrens, revealed knowledge of a hidden ritual site where the cultists were rumored to conduct their dark ceremonies. Freya ventured into the depths of the Redmond Barrens once more, guided by Vale's cryptic directions. The path led her to a desolate cemetery where gnarled trees loomed like silent sentinels and the air was thick with ancient magic. There, amid the gravestones and the echoes of forgotten souls, she discovered the entrance to a concealed chamber. The chamber was adorned with arcane symbols and illuminated by an eerie, flickering light. It was a place of sinister power, and it confirmed her worst suspicions. The cultists were indeed using the Stolen Arcane Formula to fuel their dark rituals, seeking to unlock forbidden knowledge and invoke eldritch forces. Freya's intrusion did not go unnoticed. As she approached the heart of the chamber, she confronted the masked conjurer once more. Their duel was a clash of raw magical might, casting blazing spells and weaving intricate wards. But this time, Freya was prepared. With unwavering determination, she uncovered the identity of her adversary, a revelation that sent shockwaves through her soul. Freya stood amidst the arcane chamber, her eyes locked onto the masked conjurer, whose true identity had just been revealed. It was none other than Alara, a former colleague from her days within the prestigious magical order. Betrayal coursed through Freya's veins as she processed the unimaginable truth. Alara had turned to the path of darkness, seeking to harness the Stolen Arcane Formula for her own sinister ambitions. Alara, or the Masked Conjurer, as she now preferred to be called, wore her newfound malevolence like a shroud. Her once bright eyes had dulled to a deep, sinister shade, and her incantations dripped with venomous intent. The magical duel that ensued was unlike any Freya had experienced before, as she battled not only a powerful mage but also the ghost of a past friendship now twisted by betrayal. Each spell they cast reverberated through the chamber, shaking the very foundations of the crypt. Shadows danced on the walls as they summoned arcane energies beyond the limits of ordinary magic. Bolts of searing lightning clashed with spiraling torrents of darkness, creating a tempestuous battleground. The masked conjurer's motives became chillingly clear as she revealed her plans to use the arcane formula to tear open a portal to a malevolent plane of existence and unleash eldritch horrors upon the world. Her lust for power had blinded her to the cataclysmic consequences of her actions. As the duel raged on, Freya knew that she couldn't allow Alara to succeed. Her determination to stop the impending catastrophe surged within her, channeling into her spells and defenses. With an incantation passed down through generations of her order, Freya created a protective barrier that shielded her from the masked conjurer's relentless onslaught. With a final, desperate incantation, Freya unleashed a torrent of pure magic, overwhelming Alara's dark defenses. The masked conjurer shrieked in anguish as the arcane formula, torn from her grasp, disintegrated into sparks of ethereal light. The chamber trembled, and a deafening roar filled the air as the ritual's destructive forces were turned back upon the conjurer. Ilara's malevolent plan unraveled in a cataclysmic explosion of magical energy, consuming her in a blinding burst of light. When the brilliance faded, only scorched earth and silence remained. Exhausted and shaken, Freya emerged from the crypt, victorious but haunted by the betrayal of someone she once called a friend. She knew that the threat was averted, but the shadows of Ilara's treachery would linger. In the aftermath, Freya returned to her quiet life in the shadows of Seattle, forever changed by the events that had transpired. The Stolen Arcane Formula was lost to the annals of history, and the magical order's secrets remained safe from those who would misuse them. As for Freya, her path as a solo runner continued, but her heart bore the scars of a friendship betrayed and a world forever changed by magic's enduring allure. In the dimly lit chamber of the decrepit mage's sanctum, Freya prepared herself for the final confrontation. The air crackled with tension as she faced her most formidable adversary yet, a shadowy figure cloaked in swirling threads of destiny. This was the enigmatic being known as the Weaver, a master of fate manipulation and the sinister force behind the theft of the Arcane Formula. Freya had followed a trail of arcane breadcrumbs leading her through a labyrinthine web of cryptic prophecies and arcane symbols to this pivotal moment. The stolen formula was merely a pawn in the Weaver's grand design, a design that threatened to rewrite the very fabric of reality. With a flick of her wrist, Freya conjured a barrier of shimmering energy, warding off the Weaver's initial onslaught of fate-altering spells. The chamber itself seemed to shift and contort as the Weaver manipulated the threads of destiny, attempting to ensnare Freya within her own web of preordained outcomes. Freya, however, was not so easily ensnared. Drawing upon her mastery of elemental magic, she unleashed torrents of fire and ice, weaving them into a deadly dance that defied the Weaver's attempts at control. The resulting clash of magical forces sent shockwaves rippling through the chamber. For every twist of fate the Weaver conjured, Freya countered with a stroke of unyielding will. Their battle raged through the confines of the sanctum, shattering ancient tomes and unleashing dormant spirits trapped in forgotten relics. The very walls of the chamber seemed to pulse with ethereal energy as the two mages dueled. As the confrontation reached its zenith, Freya unleashed her most potent incantation, a spell of pure, unadulterated magic that severed the Weaver's connection to the threads of destiny. With a guttural scream of frustration, the enigmatic foe was cast into a maelstrom of shattered prophecies and unraveling fates. The sanctum quivered as the Weaver's influence dissipated and the chamber returned to a semblance of normalcy. But there was no sign of the enigmatic figure. The Weaver had been defeated, her plot to reshape the world thwarted. Exhausted but triumphant, Freya emerged from the sanctum and into the cool night air of Seattle. She had preserved the secrets of her magical order, prevented the cataclysm foretold by the Arcane Formula, and vanquished the enigmatic Weaver. The stolen formula, now devoid of its sinister purpose, was returned to the Order's archives, a testament to the enduring power of magic safeguarded by those who understood its complexities. Freya's path as a solo runner continued, but her experiences in uncovering dark conspiracies and battling formidable adversaries had honed her abilities to a razor's edge. She walked the shadows of the city with newfound confidence, a mage whose mastery of magic was matched only by her unyielding determination. As the story concludes, Freya's journey serves as a reminder that even in a world where the boundaries of reality are constantly tested, the indomitable spirit of a lone runner can shape destiny and defy the forces that seek to control it. Subscribe for more Shadowrun stories, history, and lore.